Welcome to the Starry-eyed Effect. I'm Steph.
And I'm Jen. On this podcast, we'll be chatting about all things Williams syndrome.
The ups and downs, and what it's like living with Williams syndrome.
We're excited to share our community with you. Thanks for being here. Stephanie, how are you?
I'm really good. How are you?
I'm good. Man, the last episode, we had a fun time.
Yes, we did. Definitely.
You were shocked about getting an invite to prom.
Yes. I'm very shocked.
I'm a little jealous, for sure. I can't wait to see the pictures. You're going to have to text me selfies all night.
Oh, yeah.
You're going to live your best life. It's going to be fun.
Oh, my God. I just can't believe that actually happened. I didn't expect that at all.
We're having fun on this show.
I mean, it's incredible. Those people are just awesome. Awesome people.
Seems like everybody we've met has brought some fun element of Williams syndrome awareness to us, right? Like that's what makes it exciting.
Just everybody, like everybody's so friendly that has like Williams syndrome. Like I've met a few people that were incredible, like really friendly. And my sister's a special ed teacher, so I went to the school with her one day and I met two people with Williams syndrome, and it was just amazing. Just amazing.
And I bet they love that too, right? Like, because it's important for people to see, you need to see yourself out in the world. That's why we're doing what we're doing.
Yes, and it was really neat because I was looking at the girl and I'm like, wow, this is incredible. And the other girl is Chinese and she has Williams syndrome. So it's very interesting.
Yeah. Did you think you looked alike?
Yes. Oh, yeah.
Yeah, you can see the similarities for sure. I see a lot of similarities in you with my daughter, or vice versa. I don't know how it goes when like one person's older than the other, but that's what makes our community special.
Yes, it does. That's absolutely true. Yes.
Joining us on the show today is Kate Bierfeldt. Kate is from Worcester, Mass, and she is an adult living with Williams syndrome. She loves Broadway shows and is a public speaker. She loves to work with her family and friends and loves music, which I'm sure we'll talk about today. Please welcome Kate. Okay. Well, hello, Kate. How are you?
Hi. I'm hanging in there. How are you?
You look so happy today. I feel like you're like thriving. You're not just hanging in there. Doing great.
Well, I've been going through a lot these last couple of months, so it's been a little difficult and a little hard, but I'm trying to manage the best I can.
Oh, that's good. I do follow you on social media. Did I see that you moved to a new house?
Yeah, I live in Barnstable, which is a town on the Cape, and we just moved, and I got all my stuff in and it looks wonderful and it looks just so great. And I'm really happy with the way it turned out.
Oh, that's good. So you are in Massachusetts. Stephanie is in New Hampshire. Do you guys know each other?
I don't know if I don't think I've ever met you before. No, but I do. I would love to give out my number to you and my information if you would like.
Sure, yes.
And we could connect and talk whenever you want, because I love making new friends and I think you'd be a really good friend for me to have.
Oh, yeah, I would enjoy that very much.
Yeah. How close are you to each other? Like, how far is it?
Maybe like an hour?
Yeah, I think so.
And I'm about an hour from Boston, so.
Oh.
Yeah.
You guys, I think you guys might be kind of close to each other. Well, so tell us about, for those of you who don't know you, why don't you introduce yourself and tell them how old you are and what you do. We already know you live in Massachusetts, but tell everybody everything else.
Hi, my name is Kate Bierfeldt. I am 38 and a half.
Oh, that's awesome. How old were you when you were diagnosed with Williams syndrome?
I was about probably, I knew I could talk probably before I could walk. Um, 18 months. 18 months.
Okay, 18 months.
Walk at 18. Walk at 18 and I talk about 10 months old.
Oh my gosh. And you probably haven't stopped since. Well, so you and Steph are close in age because Steph, didn't you just
Yeah.
turn 9?
Yep.
Yeah, so that I'm really excited that we're the same age.
Yeah, me
Almost.
too.
Yeah.
So you live in Massachusetts, and tell us about what that's like. How, did you grow up there?
Yes, I was born in Worcester, Massachusetts at a very wonderful hospital. And now I currently live at the home that I've been living at since I was born. And it's everyone that comes to my house says, wow, your house is amazing. It, but I moved to the Berkshire Hills Music Academy and when I was about 18, and I stayed there for 7 years. Um, and I learned so much, I did so much, I gained so much, and it was amazing. And then after that, I moved to the Cape, and that's where I've been ever since, too.
Oh man, that's wonderful. So, Steph, do you know about the Berkshire Music Academy?
No, I don't.
Oh, you would have to check it out. It was such an incredible place and I learned so much like I learned math through music. They taught everything through music and I also did singing a lot of singing like of different Broadway songs and different songs that I really loved and I did a lot of stuff and I worked actually for the Best Buddies in the Best Buddies office while I
No
was there
way.
too. Yeah. I worked at the
Wow.
Best Buddies office and they hired me to go to all around the country and go speak about Best Buddies and what it means to me. And I spoke about over 4,000 people at a Best Buddies like convention. It's international. So everyone from all over the world came. I met people from like Australia, London, everywhere you can
Oh
think of.
my God.
Yeah, it was incredible.
Oh,
And
I'm in the Best Buddies program.
yeah. And I also did public speaking too, as well. And so I gained my public speaking skills from being part of like Best Buddies, having a buddy, going out, doing things with my buddy and having fun. And I also got an award from one of my buddies. It's for Woman of Achievement Award for all of the things that I've done. And they surprised me at the Miss Massachusetts
Oh,
pageant. Yeah, it was unbelievable.
that's awesome. So, are you still part of the Best Buddies program?
No, they do not have one on the Cape. I really want one on the Cape because it would be such a wonderful thing for people. There are people with Williams syndrome like me, and there are people with all different disabilities, and it would just be so nice to have that program and have people to come and get to know me and everyone else. And I still have my buddies from all the years from middle school now. So I've been over their houses, I've done sleepovers, you can imagine all the fun things like we go get our nails done.
Oh, wow.
And one of them is married with
Oh,
4 kids and still my buddy to this day.
oh, that's cool because Steph's in the Best Buddies program too. Are you still doing it, Steph? Remind me.
Yes, I am. I did have a buddy, but unfortunately it didn't work out. So I'm looking for a new one. It might take a while, but I'm hoping to find someone more energetic and fun. And
Yeah.
the one that I had was really like not fun enough for me. She was very awkward. Like it was just a weird situation for me. So
Yeah, sometimes unfortunately that happens and that's how you get to know people like and you can decide like who you think is going to be good for you or who's not and then make that choice yourself and stick.
yeah.
Yeah.
So, what do you
And
do now? Oh, go ahead.
Mrs. C, who is my was my middle school teacher. We are still best friends to this day. First chapter. She was the one that did the first chapter in the country, in the school. In middle. Yeah.
That's awesome. So what do you do nowadays? Do you work?
I did work, but I've been experiencing a lot of other things going on right now that we have to get checked out and get fixed. I was born with Chiari malformation, and it is starting to really bother me, where I have like, head pain, tightness, like throbbing. My throat feels like it's hurting a lot from the pain that I've been experiencing, and hand pain. And
It is common for some of our people in our community to have Chiari malformation. Do you know exactly what it is? Like, can you tell everybody if they've never heard of it before, you're telling us some of the symptoms, but
it's the opening of the base of the skull.
okay.
And I have two brain tonsils that are pushing down, and the fluid is going in a wrong direction. And it's not supposed to be going in a wrong direction. And so they're going to be tomorrow I have to go for a nerve block. And then if that doesn't work, they're going to have to do surgery to fix it.
Yeah. So that's causing you lots of health problems.
Yeah, it is
Yeah.
right now. But I want to talk about Broadway and happy stuff.
You want to talk about all the fun stuff. So let's talk about fun stuff. You said you like to go out with your friends.
Oh,
you
yeah.
love Broadway and music.
I certainly do. There's nothing like it. I have a whole list I would actually like to share with you I was in a few Broadway kind of shows myself. I was in Footloose, and I got to play the bartender. And that was such a fun role for me because my brothers, when I was 21, took me out to the bar for my birthday. And that's an experience I'll never forget. So getting to play a bartender was really fun.
That's cool. This is like the play.
It's a high school play I was in.
That's awesome. Okay, tell us what else.
And then I was in Jesus Christ Superstar. That was one of my all-time other favorite musicals, and still is to this day. And I was in Grease, and I got to play Jan. And I also was in Wizard of Oz, and I got to play the mean old nasty witch.
I love it. Were you mean?
I was mean. Oh, I was mean. People were so afraid of me.
Well, when I was in fifth grade, I was in a play, and I played Glinda the Good Witch. So
but I do have a list of over 25 shows that I've seen.
What's your favorite one?
I'll tell you I'll give you 4 of my favorite, because this list could go to the back of the page. I'm not kidding. I love Lion King, has to be probably my top favorite. It's one of the best musicals, and if you haven't seen it, please, everyone that's watching this or listening, please go see it, because it's phenomenal. And then Wicked is one of my all-time favorites. And Hamilton, which I'm currently wearing my Hamilton shirt.
Yes.
And I got all Hamilton dressed up for you all. I was very lucky enough to see that. I got that for Christmas one year. I've seen a bunch of them. Cats was one of my favorites.
Ooh.
And I met the whole cast of Cats, which was unbelievable. And I have a cat, by the way. Yeah, her name's Lady Gaga.
Oh my gosh. So Steph has cats as well. You probably see one sitting on her lap right now. But she just got a baby kitten.
Oh.
Yep, she's orange and gorgeous.
I've seen Pinky Boots. That was another favorite of mine. I've seen Little Mermaid, Aladdin, Frozen. That was cool because my godmother lives in New York and got tickets for front row seats for Frozen, but she couldn't go that day. So she called and asked me if I wanted to go with my family. And we all got up and went to New York, and it was such an experience I'll never forget. And then I've seen Beautiful, the Carole King musical, Dirty Dancing, On Your Feet, and Motown. Margaritaville was really fun too.
Those all sound fun. Do you go to New York for those?
I actually go to Boston or Providence or Worcester. We got a new Broadway theater down here in Worcester, and pretty much all the shows that are in New York come down here, and they're just as incredible. I mean,
Outside of musicals, you like music as well. Is
oh
Lady?
yeah, I love Lady Gaga. I currently have two favorite groups of mine that I'm very, very close with. One is called Hyena Sound. They're an all professional male a cappella group, and they come from all over the state of like Massachusetts, California, everywhere, New York, even. And then after they're done being in Hyena Sound, a lot of them have been on Broadway. And one of my friends, Peter, who was a member of Hyena Sound, is now currently singing on cruise ships, which is, yeah, he's incredible. And he's singing on cruise ships, and they all came for my birthday and surprised me and sang to me for my birthday. And then the other group that I love is Cape Harmony. They're the all female professional a cappella group down on Cape Cod as well, and they stay all summer long and perform, and they all know me, and they've taken me in as like if I was one of their own. It's awesome.
That's wonderful. Do you like
Yeah.
acapella?
God, I haven't heard in years, so
I can
yeah,
send you the videos of the guys singing. I think you would really enjoy it because they're really fun. And Ball in the House was actually the first a cappella group that I even heard of, and I'm friends with them all still to this day. After I was probably like 15 or 16 when I met them, and I'm still friends with that group now too.
oh
So
wow.
yeah, it's pretty cool. I also love like Elvis, the Beatles, you name it, I love it. I love,
Oh, the Beatles, my
yes.
favorite.
I heard you on the last podcast mentioning how much you love the Beatles, and I was like, I love them too. My favorite song is Let It Be. That is one of my favorite songs by the
Oh
Beatles.
yeah, Mom loves that song. I love Lucy in the Sky with
That's
Diamonds.
a great one. And actually, I'll tell you a story, Seth, that'll blow your mind. I went to Vegas actually a few years ago, and I saw Lady Gaga in concert, but I also went to a Beatles Circus Olay, and they played, yep, I'm not even joking you.
Oh my God.
It was quite an experience. I've never experienced anything like that before, and they played every Beatles song you could even imagine.
Oh my God. I want to see that so bad.
Yeah, you could look it up on YouTube and watch it. I've done that too, and you can find it on YouTube, and it shows you a lot of the stuff they do. It's really cool.
Oh wow.
Yeah, and I also have a best friend. Her name is Julie. She lives in Boston, and sometimes we go to Boston and see shows together, or sometimes she comes down here and see shows with me. So, yeah, it's really, really fun. And we're also going to Disney together with a few of our friends too. So, we're very excited.
You sound really busy.
I know. Everyone's like, "Can I have the life that you have?" And I'm like, some days I get overwhelmed, but other days I'm just like, I'm having a ball.
Yeah, Steph's real busy too. You guys both, I'm noticing about the two of you. You guys keep your
Yeah.
social full.
Yeah, and I also I still have a job at my day program. I go to a day program 3 days a week, and I work at the front desk. I answer phones, I greet people, and now I'm currently in having an interview at the Animal MSPCA on the Cape to see if I could volunteer there. And since I've been home for so long, my mom has brought me to the MSPCA down here. And a mother dog just had 9 baby pit bull puppies.
Oh.
And I've been able to hold at least 4 or 5 of them. So it's been such an incredible time getting to be with the cats. And oh, they are the sweetest. They talk, they meow, they purr, they're just the sweetest.
Oh yeah.
I'm a
Yeah,
big cat lover.
volunteers at a cat shelter, which is how you got your cat, right?
Yeah,
Yes. Yep.
we got ours from a no cat kill shelter too. And she's just, I mean, she's mama's girl. So it's like,
Oh.
yeah, she is mama's girl all the way. When I come home, she waits for me at the front door. She knows when it's
Oh.
so cute. Yeah.
That
And
is
Well,
adorable.
it
yeah,
is.
and I do.
I said it is adorable. That's really sweet.
Yeah. Yeah, she's been like, she chose me as her main mama because when she was little, I would always take care of her, always make sure she was okay, and always snuggle her. And, she would give me kisses just like a dog would.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
Steph, what
Yeah.
other questions do you have for Kate? I think we're like almost at the end of our time, believe it or not.
I've always wanted to see like Adam Lambert or like anybody on Broadway like that. Have you ever seen any like really amazing celebrities that you've been really close with?
Um, well, this is actually a funny story. So there was a group that came called the Broadway Boys, right? And there's
Mhm.
this place in New York City that I've been to called Ellen Stardust where everybody sings, dances, because they all want to be on Broadway. Like that is their dream to be on Broadway. And I was at the show once and all the guys are like, wait a minute, I think I know you. Did you come to Ellen Stardust at one point? And I was like, oh my God, I felt like a celebrity in that moment.
Mm.
Yeah. Ellen's is a restaurant. It's a really cool diner. It's really cool because they get up on the chairs and they start singing and it's just such a fun experience.
Oh,
Yeah.
wow,
I,
that's awesome.
I feel like
Yeah.
the two of you together would have a lot of fun. So like I'm hoping after this podcast you guys do connect and like do some fun
Yeah.
stuff.
I think if Joel might be able to give me your information and send it to me, and I can give you a call and check in and see how you're doing.
Oh, that'd be nice. Yeah, I'd like
Yeah.
to visit you and hang out with you. That'd be fun.
Yeah, we would have a good time. I think we would have too much of a good time. Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm also on Facebook. You could look me up at Kate Bierfeldt is my name on Facebook. And then my Instagram is Miss Broadway Diva Queen Bee. So,
Okay.
yeah.
I
So,
love it. That's your Instagram name, Miss
yeah.
Broadway Queen. Wait, Broadway Diva Queen Bee.
Yes.
I love it.
Yes.
That's great. Well, thank you.
On today's podcast, we have Jessica, who has a daughter that has Williams syndrome, and she makes shirts and she makes profiles of people that have Williams syndrome. I'm very proud to introduce Jessica to the podcast show. I know you're working for Outshine Labels. How did that all begin, and what is most important that you want people to know about Outshine Labels?
Oh, wow. That's such a good question. And I could talk for hours to answer it. Um, so when Ava was diagnosed, my daughter, who is now 7, I went on Instagram to try to find families that had children with Williams syndrome. And I didn't find a whole lot at that time. That was in the very end of 2017. And so I started to just make friends with other families that had children with disabilities. And I realized, like, why aren't we kind of teaming up a little bit more and networking? Because, my child is in speech therapy like a child with Down syndrome might be. And so, I kind of saw a lot of overlap, and I thought, how great it would be for all of us to, network a little bit more together. And then I also kind of, even back then, I know it was only a few years ago, but still the way that people spread awareness then was more about teaching people about the condition. And I didn't feel very comfortable doing it that way myself, because whenever I tried, I felt like I would, talk about Williams syndrome and I could see people's eyes like kind of like roll over their head, and they just would be overwhelmed with like all of this information I was giving them.
Right.
And so I was kind of losing their attention, and I thought, well, I'm not very good at spreading awareness. And, the point of this is to capture somebody's attention so that we can, open them up to something that they're not familiar with and expand their view. And so I just was thinking, I honestly just personally care that people treat Ava with respect and love and equality. And so I was like, I just want to share stories about like, what Ava has taught me, like as a parent, things that I didn't see coming, and like these little glimpses of like, wow, like this is amazing because I was forcing myself to at that time to be exposed to good stories, because I knew if I was surrounded by the scary things that I would just shut down and continue to be depressed by her diagnosis. And so with my Instagram account, I started to kind of share these stories that were, they pull at your heartstrings and they just make you feel good. And really, and with, the whole, like with psychology of people, I mean, it's fight or flight, like, so when you're kind of seeing something that scares you, you run away from it. But when you see something that makes you feel good, you go towards it. And so then I was just thinking about how, maybe we could change the way that we spread awareness a little bit by just sharing these good stories, the happy ones, because then I feel like, we could capture somebody's attention that's not used to our world. And then maybe they'll be more open to it when they would see a child with disabilities and be more loving and kind towards them or something. So that was one thing that was really important for me to do. And, teaming up with other advocates that, didn't matter what disability space they were in, we all had something a lot in common with each other. But then also just sharing more of like the positive stories, the just insights that we see that the common family out there doesn't get to see if they don't have a child with disabilities. And stories like that are what I saw a lot of people loved. And then I guess the final part then was, I was looking at, because I had an e-commerce website, multiple e-commerce websites before Outshine Labels. And I was thinking about like what I could do with my current business at that time to help spread awareness for Williams syndrome, or how could I help the disability community? And I started to look at merchandise. And that's when I noticed like so many, I guess, you've all seen the shirts that are kind of like Ava's Army or team whatever, and that's what everybody's always done. And because I'm an entrepreneur and because I have ADHD myself, I just think I'm wired a little bit differently. And so I was like, what can we do that would be different, or how can maybe we can do this a different way or something. And so that's when I started to think like, well, why, maybe if I just make, I think one of my first designs was Be Kind, because like I told you in the beginning, that was one of the I just want people to be kind to Ava. And so, and, we've all seen products with Be Kind on them, but I thought, because this is so me and it feels like it's something, it's a phrase that I love or we love as a family. I felt like, whenever I do wear this and they say, oh, I love your Be Kind shirt or your coffee mug or whatever, I can talk about Ava still, like, and I'm still going to spread awareness. And so I just thought, just how overwhelmed society is with like information overload. Like but there's so much information out there now. Everybody has a smartphone. Everybody's like, if I don't know something, I'm going to ask Siri what the answer is or whatever. And I just kind of thought, a way to spread awareness is more in like an indirect way. Something, with universal designs that appeal to more people. And because I thought the more people that are wearing it, the more awareness that we can spread. And because we have e-commerce, we can sell to the world. so we can raise more money than what we typically used to do with maybe a team shirt that I would sell to just my family and friends. I'm only going to make a little bit of money there. And then if I'm not a good designer, maybe they'll only wear it like one time, right? And I want them to wear it all the time. So it was just kind of rethinking how we fundraise with merchandise. So that is my very long answer, and I could still go on and on.
Wow, that's amazing.
I remember, Jess, when I first came across your website, I was, so as you know, my daughter Stella has Williams syndrome, and she has quite a large team of people that support her. And so I'm always looking for gifts, like at the end of the year, that have some sort of tie back into the disability space. And I remember finding your site. I don't remember exactly how I found it, but I remember seeing a young lady that's on the page today, and she had a design, and it was called You Rock. The shirt says You Rock. And I was like, this is a perfect gift to give to people who support my kiddo, right? To give them something that was designed in conjunction with somebody who has Williams syndrome, that supports the disability community, that, has disability pride without, saying like Williams syndrome or saying like Down syndrome. It was something that I thought was like really cute and eye-catching, yet kind of filled all those pillars behind the scenes that I wanted it to fulfill. And so I love your mission, as you know, because we've had a long relationship since then. But I love that that's what you focus on. And you've obviously branched out since then, right? You do designs for a lot of nonprofits that have like their logo or their names on it. So you're not necessarily exclusive to more of those universal designs, but I think that creating those eye-catching, cute, inspirational designs that have meanings behind them have been so powerful. So let's talk about that in terms of your new partnership with the Williams Syndrome Association. Mm-hmm. So tell us a little bit about that and how it's going.
Oh, wow. So it's going really well. We recently did this 4-leaf clover t-shirt. I think you've probably seen that. So that was more of a universal design. It says 1 in 10,000 because your odds of finding a 4-leaf clover are 1 in 10,000. And that's the same as having a child with Williams syndrome. Wow. And yeah, so I was just actually wearing this shirt, the whole family was, last weekend for St. Patty's Day. And we were on like a road trip. So we were stopping in a couple of different towns, and everybody complimented us on our shirts. And somebody, was like, oh, 1 in 10,000. What's that? I was like, oh yeah, your chances of finding a 4-leaf clover are 1 in 10,000. They're like, oh, wow, I never knew that. And so I got their attention, right? And then I'm like, yeah, it's the same as having a child with Williams syndrome, which is like our daughter Ava here. And they're like, oh, I never heard of Williams syndrome. Like, tell me more about it. And so that got the conversation going. And so we were spreading awareness, right? So yeah, this was one of the more universal designs I did, because I feel like anybody could still wear it. Like, in fact, I had someone was like, oh, I'm buying that for my hairdresser because they love 4-leaf clovers. Like, that's like their thing. Like, they have a 4-leaf clover keychain and they have artwork in their house with 4-leaf clovers. Like, they just love 4-leaf clovers. They collect them. And I was like, there you go. There's somebody that loves, the design, but then also they now have this like extra meaning behind it where they know like, oh, that's also supporting the Williams syndrome community. And so, yeah, the Williams syndrome community or the association would get 70% of the profits for anything that sells inside of their store. And so essentially, like, I'm running their merchandise store on Outshine Labels. And in addition to the 4-leaf clover shirts, we have the 40th anniversary shirts that I did last year for the convention. Those are fun because they are neon ink and they glow. So that was kind of fun to do during the convention, was have like a little area with black lights, and people would take their pictures in that area and have glowing shirts. But then also I have their logo apparel and accessories. So you can get coffee mugs and tote bags. And I feel like that's another thing too, Jen. It's like, a lot of people thought I mean, I feel like it was always t-shirts, right? Like that's what we fundraised with, was just a t-shirt. And we do offer t-shirts, but then we have sweatshirts and tank tops and other types of apparel, in addition to the accessories. So they're fun, like a coffee mug or the stickers and tote bags and just other products. So we're kind of giving people like no excuse not to buy something, because there's something for everyone. And whenever you make that purchase, you're going to support the Williams Syndrome Association. So it definitely takes, I feel like, a lot of work off of their plate, because like I said, I give them 70% of the profits and I retain 30, and that 30% helps me pay for
your work. It helps you, right? Like run this
they
business.
operated the website. Yeah, you have to pay the website bills. You have to answer the emails on how does something fit, or I didn't get my shirt and it's lost in the mail and I have to track it down, or whatever. So there's a lot of like administrative kind of back end things that help me run Outshine Labels.
So what I remember, I think, is that before the partnership with you, the Williams Syndrome Association really didn't like use merchandise as a way to fundraise. And now, since you have been on board, you've been able to generate quite a lot of dollars for the WSA. Isn't that correct?
I feel, yeah, Jen, I'm glad that you brought that up, because that, I think, is something that not just the WSA, but all of the nonprofits that I've talked to so far, they never thought of like merchandise as like a way for them to make money. They didn't think, and really, I feel like it's a whole new revenue stream, because nonprofits rely so heavily on financial donations. And they really are the best kind. That's the best that you can get, right? Is a financial cash donation is the best way that you can raise money. But, fundraising with merchandise is like this whole other revenue stream that I feel like is really untapped, and there's a lot of potential there. So yeah, that's what's exciting about it, is being able to kind of use it as another revenue stream for the WSA to use towards everything that they need help with.
Yeah, because like a lot of people individually think merchandise is a great way, like you were saying, like to support whatever cause they're trying to advocate for, like cerebral palsy or Down syndrome or whatever. Like, but nonprofits, when they get into this space, merchandise can be very, like you said, administratively heavy. It cannot create a lot of revenue for them. It's like more like work than it is like worth it. And so I love that you're flipping that a little bit and helping these nonprofits think differently about what merchandise can be. I do have a question. Do you have cat bandanas for Steph?
Yeah, I can do cat bandanas, because so the bandana would work for dogs and cats. So yeah, I can do those. Do you want me to add that?
Yeah, please.
I also know Steph is very excited, right, about having some merchandise for the podcast.
Yes. Oh my God, I'm so excited about that. Yes.
Yeah, like I'm looking at your blanket, and we have a blanket that's so fuzzy and soft, and we could do a blanket that has, I have them on the site right now. You have the WSA logo. You could have one of those fuzzy blankets instead of the one that you have there. You could wear it, kind of get cuddled up.
Yeah, I would love that. That'd be cool.
Yes. And your poster in the background, I can't read all of it. Bright and be you. Very cute. We could put some other ones next to it.
Yeah, that would be cool.
Make a little photo collage.
Yeah, that would be great.
Before you know it, you're going to be all Outshine Labels up.
I don't mind that at all. I don't. I'm very excited about this.
Yeah.
You do some like nonprofits, right? But you also do a lot of individual fundraising for like specific individuals with disabilities and their respective causes. Tell Steph a little bit more about that.
Yeah, so there are adults on the site who are like over the age of 18 and might be self-advocating on, themselves. And so they are, we have Michael Kutcher on the site. He is one of our adults on the site. We have Megan, and what's so funny is I've met all of these people just through kind of like social media. And so I haven't really opened it up to kind of like the masses to where, you know, you can open up a store or a collection with Outshine Labels. But in the future, I do hope to open that up more so that other families can be, you know, as many families and adults that are interested in doing something like this would have that capability to work with me. Right now, it's just kind of like me, so I don't have the bandwidth to expand you know, at this time. But I am really working hard on trying to figure out how I can do that, because I get emails and direct messages and I, you know, just from so many people that need so much help. I mean, that's what's so like, so this is, yeah, just some of the stories that I read, it's like, how can I say no to them? You know, like I want to work with them. I want to help them. And really like honestly, if you need extra money. So that was like another reason why I created this. You know, so many families are hurting and need extra money. And I don't know why I'm getting like choked up, but I mean, I just think a lot of the therapies aren't covered by health insurance. So what do these families do? You know, they want to help their child, but then they don't want to, you know, sacrifice their family's lives and like the other children that they have in the house, because, you know, now all the money is going towards one child because they're trying to help their child or whatever. So this is just, you know, it's a way. So you can not only purchase merchandise on Outshine Labels, but then there's the GoFundMe aspect that I also have built in, where you can make a financial donation to them. And so then I don't take a percent or anything of that. It's just, we deduct the credit card fee. That's it. So it's a way for people to make extra money that they otherwise don't really have another way of doing so. And I mean, I think, you know, if somebody comes to me, and like I've had it happen recently where they'll come and they're desperate for extra money and they're like, can I work with you? And it's like, oh my God, like I want to work with you, but the very first thing is I advise you to try to just start like a financial type GoFundMe account or an account like that, because if you need cash, like you're going to make more cash that way than you will through fundraising with merchandise. And as soon as you open up that avenue, the people that are supporting you, they might end up buying a t-shirt instead of giving you $20. And so you would actually make more money if they gave you $20. And, you know, where if they're just going to buy a t-shirt, you might only make like $7 or $6 on that. So
Right.
I try to tell people to, you know, if they're desperate for extra money, to kind of go through GoFundMe first, just until Outshine Labels is more well-known. They could certainly just do that with me in the beginning, but everybody knows GoFundMe. So it's, you know, I feel like the masses are kind of accustomed to GoFundMe. They have a big base with them, a solid foundation, but that's the best way that, you know, people can earn extra money, is trying to start a GoFundMe first. And when you feel like, you've kind of like, what happens is you'll get a lot of support in the beginning, and then it kind of starts to trail off and gets quiet and quiet. And when you start to notice that, that's when I suggest that you can do merchandise, because then you're adding something new. And, you know, maybe you already got a financial donation from somebody, but now they're going to purchase a t-shirt, and it's extra money that you can earn. So,
oh, wow.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's always good to like do it alongside other fundraising activities. I think, and that's why it makes sense for a lot of the people that you're working with and the nonprofits. It's all exciting work. I'm so excited for you. So Steph has never been to convention. So her first convention is hopefully going to be Arizona.
Yes.
I really hope so. I don't know the dates of it, but
you will make so many new friends.
Yeah.
Or finally meet the friends that you've met only through Facebook, and then you'll get to see them in real life.
Yeah, I know. That'd be so cool.
Last
year, I really hope it does happen.
Last year was Jess's first convention, and so she knows like what's coming your way. It's so exciting.
I never want to miss another one. You know, it was so much fun to connect, you know, with the other families, and then the kids get to meet each other. It was awesome. It was really awesome.
Oh, it sounds really fun. Oh my God.
The only thing is you can't bring kitty cat with you.
I won't. No way. I know. I wish
Although I want to
could.
pinch that little kitty cat there. Oh my gosh.
When is
Oh, she's so
convention?
cute.
Hi, producer Joel here. July 9th through the 14th.
Oh, thank you, producer Joel.
Oh, thank you, Joel.
And it's in Arizona, so we are very excited for that. And Jess is in Arizona, as is Outshine Labels. So hopefully you'll be creating new merch and have a table that we can all procure all the things from.
Definitely. That will happen.
Where can people find you if they want to learn more about Outshine Labels?
I would say head to the website, which is outshinelabels.com. You can also go on Instagram or Facebook and find me there. So it's I guess at Outshine Labels. And those I feel like are the top 3 areas that you can go find out more about Outshine Labels.
Thank you very much, Jess, for being part of the podcast.
Thank you. It was really nice to meet you.
You too.
You've been listening to The Starry-eyed Effect, presented by the Williams Syndrome Association. The show is hosted by Jennifer Keaton and Stephanie Karen, and produced by me, Joel Lispman. Theme song by Tommy Barbarella and Mariella Elm. Got a question for Steph and Jen? Email us at podcast@williams-syndrome.org. Rate and review us on Apple Podcasts, and maybe it will get featured on a future episode. Make sure to like and subscribe to The Starry-eyed Effect wherever you get your podcast delights.